So we'll call to order City of Bel Air Beach Citizens Advisory Committee meeting on Thursday, July 25th, 2024 at 5 p.m. So we'll call to order, roll call. So we need someone to, first of all, we'll roll call. So we've got
Tom Elliott, present.
Rob Risberg, present.
Mark Goldman.
Ron Saganik are the members present. So the first thing to do is, now we've got the roll, is approval of the agenda. Has everybody reviewed it? Can I get a motion?
I move.
So,
Second.
And then, and we need a motion to appoint a secretary.
so moved.
Second.
Second.
I'm not volunteering, I just moved. I'm just
Oh.
keeping
I thought you were volunteering.
Who makes
So
the
we need a motion.
automatically-
That's not in my
The
rules.
good news is the minutes are typically, so it's just a matter of filling in the.
Yes, that is true. Do you have a template? That's a fill in the blank. If you're interested, and so each term, here are the current. So we have one alternate, Tim Hollick, that could move into John Hansick's seat that's been vacated.
And we could make him a secretary too.
That's a possibility. So yeah, it's 2-year
That's the Army
terms.
way. Whoever's not at the
Want me to do
meeting.
it Tonight, I'm happy.
And then we usually elect in April is the typical election of officers now, since we passed April. Or did we have an election for the audit? My minutes. Where am I? That's it. No, because we were functioning as the auditor. So this will be, we should vote for all, because we're coming around on a full cycle of the positions.
Okay.
So we should reaffirm who's the president and or the vice chair.
Chair.
Vice chair.
We had chair and secretary, or do we
We have the chair, vice chair, and secretary. They have the listed positions and duties. And I mean, it's pretty straightforward.
You're looking at the ordinances, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Officers. So you have the chair, the vice chair, and the secretary, but I mean, obviously the chair presides over the meeting, vice chair fills in, and then the duty of the secretary is listed here.
Yeah.
So just for all, the secretary shall keep the minutes for all the meetings of the Citizens Advisory Committee and shall have charge of such books and papers as the Citizens Advisory Committee may direct, with original minutes of all meetings and other Citizens Advisory Committee documents to be filled with the city clerk. The secretary shall, in general, perform all duties, all of the duties incidents to the office of secretary. All of duties incident, I think it's a typo, because that doesn't flow right, to the office of secretary. So basically, we have a meeting template, and you're just tracking the motions that are made. This is an
How does it
example.
require them to be a member of the committee?
To be a secretary, yes. You have to be a full member of the committee.
So as Kyle mentioned, I know I'm the chair, who's our vice chair? Do we have a vice chair?
I don't know.
It's not listed. I don't think we ever did.
Yeah, I don't
I don't
remember if we ever
remember.
did,
Oh, yeah. Was it you?
I don't think so.
Nice. Okay, well, I guess we should appoint one this time.
So it's open for nominations.
but open for nominations
I nominate Mark Goldman.
for,
No, vice chair. Be kind.
I'll second.
I move to close nominations.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. Chair?
I nominate Ron Sienna.
Second.
All in favor? Any questions? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, now we come down to the fun one. Secretary.
I miss half the meetings because I travel for work. That's my only hesitation.
I have like kind excuses. I do travel frequently, but I'm always available by Zoom. But I decline if I'm nominated. Can we do it by lot? And it's just between the two. Actually, Tim is in the running here, whether he knows it or not. How do we randomly
Well,
select?
if there's got to be somebody in the room, I guess that leaves me.
I would think so. And, yeah, we can appoint a secretary with a backup. An understood backup when somebody can't be here.
Yeah, I'd be in favor of that. I mean, so if we, I guess, do we need to have somebody officially, Kyle, for,
In the past, when we didn't have somebody, the
Somebody-
staff took care of it.
Somebody sit in,
Like, I would fill them out.
well, I'm filling it out now, but,
maybe we can convince Tim.
Yeah, see if he's interested.
And we could rotate.
It's a bonus. He gets to be an officer and a member.
It's true.
If it's somebody that can't always be here, then we're just gonna have to have
And-
staff fill it
Yeah, or we can rotate, you know, we can each
Yeah,
do
if
it.
he doesn't want to
Between the
do it.
four of us, somebody will be here to do
or when we open up for
it. New members.
new members and then,
We'll appoint.
but for today, we'll just, what I'm hearing is we're gonna leave the secretary position open, and I'll fill in the form as we go about today, if that works for everybody today.
Yep.
And we'll
Thanks.
Okay.
ask Tim if he's interested in moving to a full-time member.
Okay, so we've appointed chair, vice chair,
Chair,
secretary is open.
vice chair.
Next item on the agenda is approval of the July 25th, 2024 Citizens Advisory Committee meeting minutes. Anybody have any questions?
I'll move to approve them.
Second,
Second?
second?
Or all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. So the third item is we're going to open it up to Kyle for discussion and review of the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget. Kyle?
Okay, thank you. So what you're looking at is the second draft that was presented at the second workshop held on July 21st.
Is there a copy of that thing?
If you need an extra copy, I have.
Yeah, I got that. Thank you.
We had the first workshop, if you go to page 6 of the budget calendar, that was in June. And it was on June 16th. And then from that, there was some discussion. You're looking at the second draft. I don't know if you were able to pay attention to the first workshop. Some items that were brought up were the buoy, replacing the buoys in the
reserve.
budget.
It's just a reserve, right?
A lot was brought up about the reserve, which I will get to.
Yeah.
And then, things like our replacement program for our larger pickup truck. We're discovering the prices have gone up significantly for trucks, and we made an adjustment to extend the savings plan by a couple of years with some more money to be able to meet that. But we're on 10-year replacement plans for the city trucks, but I feel like a couple more years is doable with the condition. So that's where we ended up on that.
Are we thinking to get cheaper? Or
I
just,
don't know, I remember to see
or just
vehicles
get more
drop,
out
but
of
it's
it?
kind
Or
of-
just get more time
I
out
did
of it?
talk to a car dealer last month that said he's seeing car prices come down for the first
Yeah,
time.
I think dealers are willing to sell them for less. Whether the
Less than
published,
sticker.
yeah,
for
whether
sure.
the published price, whatever that is, but
Yeah.
yeah, you can, I don't know if everybody else senses it, but out there in the business environment, I sense, especially in our area here, people looking for business. Whether it be restaurants or service type industries, everybody is anxious to do more business. And I don't know if it's a function of the time of year when a lot of the people who go up north are gone already, and but there's a sentiment around that, you know, it could get worse, but no one is just out there celebrating how much business there is to go around. You know, everybody ramped up, got fully employed, bought all the equipment, did everything to manage the storm repairs, to do all those things. And that's gone. The majority of it is gone, let's put that out. The only people that are thriving still are the dock people. Dock
Oh.
people.
Yeah.
Docks and seawalls.
Docks and seawalls.
Contractors.
Docks and seawalls. And even some of those are, they're coming around with flyers again, once again. People are leaving flyers.
Wow.
Are you seeing GCs looking for like remodel work?
I don't know if it depends on which type of GCs or you know, the well-established ones, I think aren't really out there hustling, but the less established ones are.
Okay.
And I think all of the tradespeople, that furor to get people, whether they're trained and qualified or not, is easing up considerably. So,
Anything else to add? Okay. So just continuing with the calendar, you know, we're having our meeting on this to review the budget draft as it is presented, and I will give you the updates from the second workshop. So then after we review, if you guys have recommendations, I will take those back to the city council. They will have their next meeting to discuss the budget at our regular August meeting. And then from there, built into an August work session if we have one, or if we need to call a special meeting. But our two trim required meetings, our first public hearing is going to be Wednesday, September 3rd. This meeting is typically held on Wednesday instead of Monday because of Labor Day.
is this date correct for the last day to advise the property appraiser's office of the millage rate? Our acceptance of the millage
Where's
rate,
the date
July
at?
29th.
July 20.
It's in 6 days.
I can verify that this calendar was what was released in, I want to say April.
Okay. Well, I mean,
You're thinking the 30th, the 31st? Would be
There's a
wrong.
trim calendar we can compare this back to.
well, no, I'm just saying that reviewing this budget in no way impacts our position on the proposed millage rate.
So this is
So there isn't anything,
the calendar that was
We need
released by
to
the
do-
state.
yeah, it's still in there by 5 p.m. We have to notify the property appraiser's office by 5 p.m. on July 29th.
Yeah, that,
If.
Are you locked
if-
into that?
yeah, so we already did our part of that.
Okay, so
Yeah, we did
that's
that.
what I'm saying.
That was in the
We're-
workshop last
Oh, okay, you just wanted.
That was completed
Check that it was
and
completed.
everybody's accepted it.
Yes, so
The
we had to do that
accepted it?
through the trim website, which is called Oasis with the Wahai,
Yep,
and we just certified it. So
okay.
So the
after
council
they hold
has,
that meeting, special meeting, to set tentative millage rate, then we have to input that into the state's website and by that deadline make it.
so the council has only said that the intention of a millage rate, because they can't lock it in yet, right?
Yeah, they can only say a tentative.
It could only go less,
It can only go less now that they said that they will keep it at what it was.
203.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it can stay at what it is or go less, and that's how it'll be presented in the trim notice. They almost considered, you know, the next one up, but then through discussion, we know it wouldn't be worth it. That's what they're doing.
Okay, okay.
Okay, and then our second, final public hearing is on Monday, September 15th, and that's held at 5:05.
We typically do that because that is the earliest it can be held. And I forgot the meeting, it has to be held after, but there's a reason to that. And then, from there, we'll have done our trim responsibility through the state requirements of passing our budget. We'll submit everything, and then it'll be first day of the fiscal year is October 1. So that's just an overview. Nothing has changed from previous years. If you remember last year, we kind of had a scramble due to not being able to have a quorum for the final hearings, and we had to kind of condense them together and get it done. So this year, we're looking good and staying on schedule, so it's. And then if we go to page 9, that's where Heather presented the different rates that we can go to. The rollback rate, usually the rollback rate is calculated based on producing the same amount of revenue on your properties. I can find out, but I realized that when I was going over it in our meeting, I don't know how they calculate the rollback rate if the property values go down, so I can try to figure that out. I'm just curious myself.
Who calculates it?
The state trim Department of Revenue.
And
So when we log on, they have already kind of calculated. There's a lot of fields that are already pre-calculated we can't adjust, and we just fill out like the certain ones, like our millage, and then we certify it. So it's
Yeah.
pretty straightforward.
And this is is this a look back or is this a go forward? So would they have taken into consideration the changes in valuations based on the storms? Is my question.
So we get this on the next page, 10. We get the actual
The big one.
the values for this year. We get an estimate first a month prior, and we showed, I believe it was like a negative 0.5. It's increased slightly in the decreased percentage. But this is the final number that we're working with for our value. And they're looking at a decrease of 0.82%.
.82, it says, okay,
8.5.
yeah, 85.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, all right. And the percent change in just the value of real property, 9.5% almost, 946.
Yeah.
So if you, I guess I could have answered my own question. Madeira went down, Reddington went down, the other Reddington shores went down.
Comparables.
Yeah,
Yeah.
South Pasadena, but there's some that did not go down.
The only ones on the beach, Indian Rocks, Indian Shores, and Bel Air Shores. When I looked through this, I
Yeah,
saw those were the only beach communities that did
communities.
not decline,
Right,
according to this chart.
yeah, okay.
Clearwater is only listed as Clearwater, so they don't break out Clearwater
Yeah,
Beach. you
Yeah,
know.
and the rest of them are non-beach, so,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so this year's taxes will be based on these assessed
That's the target at the time
target and
that the property appraiser gave us.
Yeah, so this is
the other column.
this is our final numbers of our
Real
value.
property.
And then we calculate based on our millage that we set what our
Yep,
revenue
yep,
is.
yep.
And then Heather does it based on everyone paying the early time
In
period.
November.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. I read that in here, so you
People pay.
assume you're only gonna get
You assume the
96%.
base amount, but
Yeah.
you get a little bit more.
It could come in a little more. Yeah.
Yes. So,
Encourage people to be delinquent.
so again, just to reiterate, where we set our tentative millage rate at the 2.0394. Again, based on discussion, it seems like it'll hold at that, but at this point, it could also go down if they get the vote. Okay. And then, just going through the general fund, nothing's changed in the layout. We updated, our utility services taxes based on what we received last year. So we do small updates on our revenues. We try to be conservative where we don't overestimate them, but get them close to what they are.
I have a question. On getting into the details, on page 18, 317.250 parking meter fees. A big difference between last year, let's see, no, not last year. Yeah, big difference between last year and this year. And what's proposed going forward.
I had the two rentals, like the rental of the community center and the parking revenues were down.
Okay, yeah, 60,000 less.
So we knocked those revenues down because of the beach renourishment project. They're gonna have to close down the beach again. So we're expecting at least half of that to be gone.
When does that happen?
This fall, so it's projected. We have a meeting coming up on Wednesday, I believe it's the 6th. And the county is coming out and it should have most of the commissioners
Yeah.
to discuss the project. It's a
And then
public
there's,
meeting.
excuse me, go ahead, I'm sorry.
So it'll be held here, and that's where you're
I
gonna get
see.
most of that information.
Okay. Is there a reimbursement on that too? Or we don't pay anything?
No, county is funding it all.
County's funding it, and they've got a request into the state.
And has the Corps backed down at all on the
Not
deed,
that effort.
the deed thing?
The core's out.
They're not doing it if they don't have the,
And I know Congresswoman Luna's been trying to get them to move, but it's not helping, so.
okay, yeah. Give us,
Twice, once burned, twice shy, right?
look, they've laid off a lot of employees in the federal government, there should be some money for the beaches. I don't understand.
We need to lay off a lot more.
They are?
I said they should.
Oh. We all have-
And then is the facility just not being utilized, the rentals, the weddings? Because that's down like 38,000.
What's the number on that one?
Bring my printout.
Rental,
Notes.
38,000 on community center rental income?
Yeah.
I got a difference in all fees of 2,700.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Can I see that quick?
Reading there.
Oh,
There's another copy of this thing on.
is there? If you go back to page 18. Oh, I'm sorry, it's the rental property registration.
Oh,
That's,
Oh,
so we've got
Yes.
fewer rentals?
yeah,
Because of
we're having a
repairs?
lot less rental registration
nothing-
because of the repairs.
inhabitable to rent for a lot less, I guess.
Yeah, so we're expecting to climb back to at least what they were
Yeah,
after 1 year and we get most of those repairs done.
right.
Any other questions on the revenue side?
I'm good.
Good. Okay. I just want to cover some of the highlights that, when I went through the department expenses or expenditures with the council, there were some small tweaks in areas that I could save a little money or we weren't spending those line items, I reduced them. And I've been doing that over the last 2 or 3 years, just kind of tightening it up. We still are, if we keep our millage where it's at, and obviously our values are fine, we're comfortable right now to continue with our operating fees throughout this next budget year. But I mean, we need to see where we end up as far as the property appraiser expects more decrease in value. Now, we don't know. He speculated maybe a couple percentages and then it'll come back up in a couple of years. That's an optimistic way, but we don't know exactly what's going to happen. But we do expect to see a decrease in value on the next.
To continue this next year.
Yes.
I think a
Hopefully it's
lot
better.
depends on what happens this storm season,
Always.
right? If we get through the storm season without more damage, they probably start back
That
up.
would be a good.
If we get hit again,
There's no telling.
So I have a question on page 21 where you are now. The 510.0541 professional development, you have percentage, increase, 100%. I think that's just a cell, a spreadsheet cell error. It's gotta be,
Yeah, 'cause it did. That's weird. We're gonna check the formula for that. I'm just gonna pull that.
Will it be the same with the election expenses?
well,
No, that's 100%.
Mine is
increase.
100%, but
because we don't have an election.
because it's zero, there's nothing scheduled?
Yeah,
Okay.
there is no election.
Okay, okay.
But that's correct.
Okay.
good point.
Okay.
Yeah, likewise on page 23, this 522.0235 flex pay, you also have 100% change.
Yeah, it should be 0.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I wonder if
Sorry, did it-
when it calculated that, did it impact the overall number?
Doesn't look like it.
No,
Yeah.
I think it
I looked at the bottom
doesn't look
number
like
and
it,
see
yeah.
it.
Yeah, that, like that
It
9.9%.
matches, at the bottom number matches, the totals match.
Yeah.
Well, if you see it anywhere else, I'll have her go back through and check all these
All
forms.
right. That's all I saw.
Okay.
These, and forgive me if you were planning to get to it, the questions I have are like, you got a 10%, on this page, we're looking at 23, you got a 10%, 9.9% increase, right? And overall, on the summary, on page 17, the only one that had a major increase in category was,
Public Works should have.
personnel services, which from 23-24 to 24-25 went up about 12,000, but the jump to this next year goes up about 97,000.
Yeah.
What is that big jump?
Wait, all right, where's the 97?
Which page are you on?
I'm on page
Page
17,
Okay.
right, the summary.
Oh.
So if you look at that's the one that jumped out to me as the biggest,
Expenditures.
Personnel services.
percentage increase, right?
On 17?
Yeah, page 17 on the personnel services line.
Oh, okay.
Just comparing the two numbers.
You're comparing, you just.
The actual to the budget, the budgeted was
So, yeah, so if you trace that
22.
through
Yeah.
each departmental budget, you're gonna see that the personnel fees do align with that increase.
Right.
Public Works, we're up 21%.
Yeah, and I noted that. You got 10% in some places, 21, 18%, 19% increase in personnel services. So my recommendation to you, and I get it, I understand why things cost more, and the council has made a conscious decision
Yeah, yeah.
to increase pay to be competitive. I got it.
Correct.
I would recommend that in kind of the executive summary up front, and I'm thinking about now generating public support for this. You've already got the council supporting it, right?
Yes.
Explain that. Why? And say it straight up, Council made the decision, rightfully so, I think, in most people's opinions, to stay competitive. It's hinted at.
Right.
And then the other big recommendation I had for that kind of a summary was, and I've made this the last couple of years, you're going to have people who say, well, we ought to go to the rollback, right?
Good.
Why are we going to pay more? What are the impacts across your operations if we go to the rollback number? So to help generate support for keeping the number at where we want it,
We need
you got to,
answers.
you got to lay out to the public that says, if we went to the rollback, here's what we couldn't do, right? We'd have to do less of this, less of this, less of this. Then people get it. Okay, so I see why we want to do that. Same thing if you were gonna make a, and you're not, if you were gonna argue for an increase, and you say they toyed with that, of the millage rate, you need to lay out for the public, okay, why? Because this costs more, and we have to spend this that we didn't have last year, whatever, you know?
Okay, well, here's the thing, with operating, so say the council gave me a directive, reduce operating costs by 10%. I could do that across each government, or each department, and I could tell you where you're gonna lose if that's what you want. But when you're talking about lowering the millage and our overall revenue, that plays into kind of like moving of funds into our different accounts, and our reserves are unallocated cash flow. So if right now we were to roll back, I would say you're gonna see the impact on, you're gonna have less reserves building, which is used in turn for future planning of projects, capital projects, stormwater projects. I think that would be the immediate impact of a rollback.
Would that would
You're
be
gonna
the
see it
majority?
span out into operation over time, but to be able to tell you exactly,
And I don't think you need to get down to,
but
you
just
know,
kind of tell,
yes.
explain.
You can say why we think this ought to stay at this level.
What would
right?
be impacted?
If we went back right, it would mean we could do less capital improvement, you know,
That
2,
services
3,
have to
4
be
years
changed.
down, whatever it is.
Yeah. I would
As
say.
a taxpayer, that helps me understand, okay,
Yeah,
why?
Because operational, I imagine unless given the directive to reduce the operational budget, operations are gonna continue to be important. We're gonna try to get the job done daily unless we're told you don't have the budget.
Sure.
So I think that if you take away our revenue over time, you're gonna see operations continue to cost and slightly go up until we get to a point. where-
Yeah, I mean, and everybody gets that. No, everybody who
Yeah.
buys anything knows, other than gasoline, which seems to have come down here, I got it for $2.82 today.
Well, I think the challenge that Kyle would hit at that point in time is like, say, do we have to,
Yeah.
is it cheaper to hire a landscape company?
Right.
Then, you know, what does that do to
Right,
staffing?
but in a broad sense, what are the impacts if we went down, all right?
Right.
And, go ahead.
Well, no, and a sort of corollary to that is the 20% that you have on reserve that you keep on the general fund,
The
right?
statute requires.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's statutory
yes, it's state of.
by the state. Okay, all right. So is that,
Mhm.
And then
Sorry.
you may want to also, as a third thing in it, is have what I would call a decrement list, right? So if we end up bringing in less money, here's where I'm gonna achieve some savings. Number 1 would be cut this, number 2 would be cut this, number 3.
You think that's not something that should really be public, I think it's really something that Kyle should keep in his back pocket.
And they could immediately.
I would certainly think the council ought to do
It's
that.
like my opinion.
And if you say it to the council, you're making it public.
Yeah,
right?
but it sounds like the council is okay
Yeah.
with what we've got here.
Well, I want to get to eventually, I think the most crucial thing we need to do at this point, and I already have Heather on it, is to do the 5-year projections and get us those numbers so we can review them, give a recommendation to council. Because there's a lot of discussion about funding pump projects and keeping up with all our committed projects, the
Yeah.
undergrounding and operational cost increases. A lot of discussion, but until we see everything.
Yeah. Well, and then going back to what you said earlier, if the tax assessor's office is projecting a continued decline in values in the near term, what does that mean? That's less money coming in, right? Which impacts things.
prices keep going up, so.
Right,
Yeah,
at the same
I
time.
did see an article that one of the realtors put out immediately after the storms this year. They summarized what happened like in Fort Myers Beach. And it was good because it said, 2 years values went down and then
Yeah.
bounced back, come back up and then even higher than they were pre-Ian.
Yeah.
Yeah, till they got whacked again.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, I don't think there's anybody in the public, myself included, that would not understand the impact of inflation, first of all, but everything we do as individuals costs us more today, whether it be groceries or real estate or tires or whatever it happens to be. And that has to translate into our position with our budget, or else we would not be able to fulfill the responsibilities of what we've allocated our funding for, because it is going to be costing us more. So if we turn that discussion into a personal experience, you know, who here, out there, hasn't experienced
Right.
these things, people will go, yeah, I get it now. Yeah.
I agree, that's why it can be as simple as saying
Yeah,
that
that's all.
the cost
A
of,
I
comment.
think a good thing that
Yeah,
Kyle
you
has
know.
as a back pocket is after this year, this building's paid off. So that's $160,000 in
Which is
principal.
great. Yeah.
that's, yeah.
That, I think the interest will be negligible for the $160,000 balance, but that principal payment of $160,000 is gonna be a real
Yeah,
savings
Absolutely.
in the next
At
budget.
5.5% or whatever it is.
And it's at 390,
Oh,
it's maybe 4.
Well, I mean, if you got it today.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Rate today.
Oh, yeah, the rate today would be higher, for sure.
And as part of the projections too, we're also gonna put together a debt service summary, just so we have all that information in front of us. So I'd like to hold, I wanted to get to this a little later, but I'd like to get another meeting on the books if we can, the next one, so that we can. go
Talk
over
about
it.
Okay.
You know, what-
Talk about options.
What reserves we have, and, you know, would it make sense to extinguish some debt? Right?
Right.
Yeah.
So prior to the storm, we were coming around and we were going to do this and we got
Yeah.
held up. But it's still very important and, you know, our intention was to pay reasonably the most we could back on the principal for the debt we pulled out. But now we are faced with, the option of funding a pump project and where the money is gonna come from. And there's a lot, that's been discussed on what we have available. And we want to be able to present that to you so that you can review it and then, you know, maybe play out some scenarios like, okay, we could do this to pay off our debt in the fastest period of time with, you know, minimal money set aside that could cover projects, but then maybe another one that would set aside more money just so that they have an idea of how much money we can fund for upcoming stormwater projects. At the same time, we are paying back our debt.
Right, and I remember you prepared a beautiful spreadsheet giving us
That's what she said.
alternatives before with the projects. So we got to weigh what we thought was the most important
Yeah,
ones
that's why we did the
against
2023 bond issue.
available
to
funds.
Accelerate
Yeah.
that.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah.
Is that something would you like to re-weigh out capital projects in the same
I think
exercise?
that'd be an excellent thing to do now.
Okay.
So that kind of goes back to our future general business for future discussion. What we want to talk about in the future is
Yeah,
projected CapEx
yeah, projected capital.
and study with cash reserve study to see what's the proper funding.
Yeah. And that would also at the same time identify any remaining debt.
Okay.
And then in discussing with Heather, the earliest, she thinks she can have it done by Wednesday next week.
Oh, wow.
So that we will be able to give it to you that night, or we could discuss, the earliest you can hold the meeting is next Thursday. If you guys are available. If not, then we'll look to the next week. I just want to have that out there as I'm always trying to get things moving.
Yeah.
Next Thursday is the 31st. Right, yeah.
I could.
I know that works for me.
I've got,
I'd have to do it by Zoom.
I see a conflict
Okay.
in my schedule.
You have a conflict? We can move it out a week, or?
Somebody's having a birthday, I don't know who. It doesn't give me
Well,
that.
Kathy.
It's your wife.
It doesn't give me, oh, I see here. Oh, it's 3 cousins.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Well, you just have Kathy pull us.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I could be here till 6 maybe, so, I don't know, if that's worth it. No.
Kyle, go back on the budget. Was there any points that city council, or do you guys all have any other? Yeah, one of the things I was most impressed with was the sheriff only giving us a 2.6% increase.
Yeah.
Because we've been getting 5s and 6s, if I remember.
Last was close to 8.
Yeah, yeah. So that was one of the first ones I went to see what damage they were doing, and I think they came in pretty
Did you see
reasonable.
the code enforcement?
Yeah, I saw code enforcement.
Wages, though, they went up around the same, so I don't know why the law enforcement didn't quite bump as much. I don't know if it's related to kind of what we went through last year. It was nice, but I don't know if we're gonna see more later, or how it's gonna work. So,
Yeah, you mentioned code enforcement. That was one of the ones that jumped up pretty good, right?
Yeah,
Well, are they putting more hours to it, or is it a rate? coming?
There's more hours to it, but the rate is going up roughly what it's done the last 2 years. About
Yeah.
8%.
40
So I
40%
assumed there
increase.
was a time that we would be utilizing code enforcement more.
So we are, we're going from 12 to 16,
Okay.
which we started this year, and then we drew out next budget for
But
16 hours.
But the rate was fixed
You can see the same.
by the
increase.
sheriff, it
I'm
was the
just-
same hour, I mean, the hourly rate was fixed for that work,
It's
correct?
not fixed, no, it's been increasing every year.
No, but it's solid for the year.
It's solid for
Yeah,
years.
okay. And what was it? Any idea?
It was 59 and change, and now we're at 64.
66. Okay, yeah, that's still reasonable. Yeah, you know, multiply that times the annual 2,040
Yeah, so the output
hours,
is
or
40,
2,000.
it's a 40% increase.
Right.
20
From
hours.
40,000 to 56,000.
Yeah, but you have to look at what it
30% increase
was.
in time.
Not really percentages as important as the real numbers.
Yeah.
You know, because you're out there and you're having to keep and support a workforce that is constantly being bombarded by the private sector.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the cost of law enforcement has definitely increased
Yeah, I
a
mean,
lot.
it's, yeah,
especially
and,
for our
and really so. I mean, you can't, it's the same thing with teachers. They need to make a lot more money so that we don't have to fight to get teachers and put teachers that aren't even accredited in the classrooms just to meet the quota of what we need. It's not right. They're the ones that are influencing our children more than we are as parents.
Good point.
Okay, just a couple things I want to cover as far as changes to the projects. On page, page 35. So this is for the buoy project. Our last budget workshop, the council made the change, they want front load for the 2026 budget year, 20 grand, so that we can replace our city swim zone buoys on the Gulf side.
On the Gulf side.
Yes. We did look at reducing the buoys. We have 16 buoys on the Gulf side. We looked at it, if we reduced them to half and spaced them out, if we would have savings based on the quotes. It just would be savings for the actual material costs. We're still looking at the same labor,
same labor.
equipment hours.
And was this making us compliant with the state law on that?
Yes.
And
yeah.
placement and the
Because
number?
we would like to front load, so for 2026, we're gonna have the 20,000, that would get us back to having our full swim zone. Because right now we only have 2 buoys, the last I checked. And then it'll also provide some more buoys out for the harbor side, because we gotta get back to that
Okay,
side.
I just want to throw one thing out there real quick. I was trying to call the Coast Guard today, and they didn't answer their phone. There's a boat right off your beach here.
Yes.
That white,
Keeps
about
sinking.
34-foot cruiser, and it's like this,
The nose down.
and the nose is going more and more down every day. I've been watching it for about 2 weeks. So it's taking on water, probably, because boats don't sit like this.
Yeah, it seems to be beaching on the ground and then sinking again over and
Well,
over.
and I don't know that, it's just what it
Yeah.
looked like. It may be hitting the bottom.
It is.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, they
for
have it
sure.
stickered. I told council I gotta get the day count.
Because there may be fuel in there that you don't know anything.
The sheriff's ensured that they don't have a pollution problem with
Okay.
it, but I don't know.
That's what I was thinking.
And is there ongoing enforcement in that arena with the boats?
So there's as much enforcement as they are capable to
As
do
you-
at this time, but we do have slotted for our work session, looking into creating ordinances as a city restricting or having rules for how they're pumping out. And I don't know the legalities behind that, but
Yeah.
we're gonna try is the direction.
Well, there's some pretty tough rules and regulations for what you can do and can't do with your boat. I don't see them being enforced.
The enforcement.
When's the last time you saw somebody go up to a boat that's anchored out there and said to people, let me see your receipt for pumping out your blackwater tank?
Yeah.
No, that doesn't happen. They just sit there and dump. So, enforcement is a big issue, you know. But that's got nothing to do with buoys. But I was worried about this boat out here,
Yeah.
thinking that, but if it's already being looked at, or somebody looked at it and said it's not an environmental issue.
That has been
Then I'm
done,
fine.
and it is on a council. It is considered derelict where they have to give it the 45 days and go
Okay.
through the process.
All right.
It's not exactly a
Yeah.
fast situation that people are happy with, and we're trying to figure out a way around it, but there's nobody in this county.
It takes forever. I remember when that guy came to the meeting and briefed how long statutory, he's got to wait X number of days.
Right.
And
It's ridiculous.
But like that sailboat that sunk on the other side.
That was months and months. and
Oh,
months.
yeah, that was there for like 6 months before.
So
That was
here.
it.
Yeah.
Well,
Washed up
the
on-
big one
The one
here,
here, yeah.
that was clearly storm damage, but that sailboat that sunk over on the
It
other
was there
side,
before.
yeah, I was amazed at how long that stayed. When they,
Well, they've had more issues over there. They had boats come loose and property damage.
yeah.
Yeah.
Lucky
But it has
they
been
haven't had
in the
that.
last, I don't know, is it since the storm or whatever, boats moored out here, south of the bridge on the Bel Air Beach side, definitely has increased.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And I don't know what causes that,
Oh.
why they move around or why they, and they'd like to go over there more, which I like, but
Yeah,
I don't know why they choose where they go.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry to interrupt.
And then we talked briefly about it, but the other major change from Monday was we are going to put in the estimated budget for the 9th Street pump station we've been discussing, on page 77, for budget year 2026. And the amount, our current estimate for that project that is going out to bid is $660,000. So
What year?
you will see
What page?
on
77.
77.
77.
So under the stormwater fund,
And there's nothing in there now.
you know, you got your operating costs and then your main two capital project funds are your valley curb and then any kind of drainage project. So we continue to put money, $50,000 for the valley curb replacement. There was money available. And then after we did our last combined stormwater project that we were working on, we did not have another project because that completed the previous master plan update. So if you remember back in '23 when we were working to approve the project, the big one that we're doing now, there was only 4 members and one of the members that we needed a vote wanted a pump station project. And that's what kind of got it all started, where we did the design. And then as we worked through, we added more council members that had kind of added scope to the reporting and the evaluation for that project. So Gemini Engineering, our city engineer, worked through that with all of them. And they arrived at, the complete plans for the original intention size pump that, again, MWI, a pump manufacturer, we came to an early meeting and we used their specs on their pumps to design the well and the project. So as we were doing more analysis in the past 2 or 3 months, it was brought up, well, what if we do the next pump size up? So we looked into that with the modeling, reviewed it all, and then put it to question at the last meeting. We had council members that wanted to go pump up, we had ones that don't want to do it all, they're more concerned about funding, we had ones that want to stick to the original pilot idea. So we were kind of all over, but we ended up, we're gonna go out to bid with the original pump size, with the original estimate and plans, and we're gonna see what comes back.
This is for 9th Street or
This is for 9th Street,
Ninth
the
Street.
pump station project,
660,000.
660.
Is what's gonna be,
And that is currently.
that's gonna be added to the budget.
Yes.
It's not in this number, so that's gonna come out of reserves?
So that will be added to the, as a stormwater capital project savings plan. It will be like earmarked, but the council would still need to approve the project. to move
Using the
forward to actually
50
spend that money.
Using the 50,000 each year to fund?
No, so what they, because it really won't make a difference, because just having, it'll factor in so that when the public and we have the hearings, we're getting it out there that we have this project that we are considering and we're saving for it. So I think that's important. But adding it to the budget, they may decide with the numbers that come back and kind of how we work through our future payoffs and all that, that it's just not gonna be something that we're gonna be able to fund this year around. I don't know how it's gonna
Okay,
turn
so
out.
we're just gonna start reserving for it.
We went through probably about a 20-minute discussion. We got caught up on it and we finally agreed it's not gonna hurt anything to put it in there. And
Okay.
we had more members that wanted to see it, so that's kind of.
So are we just adding it into the description?
So it'll go in with, 2026, for $660,000.
But on page 77, right, that's what you said?
Yes.
So it just says stormwater improvements, but it just says based on stormwater master plan, 22nd, 23rd, Morgan, 25th, 26th.
Yeah, so that didn't get adjusted because we didn't have a project, we just had it as.
So we'll add 9th
So-
Street,
Yeah, we're
In the
gonna change the
description.
description
okay,
and then, add that.
okay.
Okay, and just for a point of information, it rains, the water collects, the tide comes in, it can't run out. Where do we pump it? To lower the water level
So.
during a rain event?
On a normal day or when the system is just running with a lower tide, the outfalls have a gravity
Yeah.
and no resistance and they're
Yeah,
flowing out the outfalls.
absolutely.
But, once that tide comes up, those outfalls get blocked so that you lose the ability for gravity flow, but you
Right.
don't lose the ability to force it out. And you're forcing it out at a higher.
And, okay, so does that project include valves that don't let it come back in?
No, it does not. That
So what's
project,
to stop it from,
there's already a valve
on those
in that
drains?
location from a previous project that's
Oh,
getting
on those
completed.
drains, right. Okay, so it can't really come back in against the tide?
Right, yeah, so the valve is gonna resist the tide, but the pump is gonna force it when there's just no other means for the gravity to.
That's, so the pressure of the pump is more than the water pressure pushing in, is what happens. And it goes somewhere else, but.
No, the pump is taking an alternate
Oh, it's going
escape
to,
route,
oh, to
but
somewhere
it's using
else.
force, so it's using
Yeah.
pressure to go against gravity to get it
But
out.
it's still dumping it back into the
Into the
intercoastal,
harbor.
into the harbor in this case, and raising the water level minusculely when you look at the
Yeah,
whole,
everyone can
when you
share.
look
That's
at
not
the
gonna
whole
be
thing,
us,
right?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to,
I wish you had a pump that powerful.
well, I know, but I mean, I don't want to see us put in
Does it
a pump.
automatically shut off if we have a flood, like we had?
That is
coming over the
built
wall?
into the plans, a means of an automatic shut off.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
And its power is dependent
A
upon.
lot of this is, we talk about a pilot project, we designed it as best as possible, given the time period, the objective, and then it's grew a little bit since, but where we kind of ended up is like, we've been growing this project, now we're talking about bigger pumps, we're talking about regional systems, but really, we haven't done all the homework to go that far. It was more past because it was the idea of the test project.
Yeah,
And now we're, trying to do a lot more, but I think the best plan of action is reviewing our finances and then executing an overall plan that ties into our vulnerability assessment that is a regional site before we do any more than this minimum.
How quickly does it reduce the standing water on the street?
I can give you a whole report.
I mean, just roughly, does it,
But it's enough,
enough that people notice that,
enough to preclude a flood. It's
Yeah.
actually,
And that's what the modeling showed, but until it's actually put into effect, I
Yeah.
can't guarantee anything.
This is to really counteract, you get a couple inches of rain dumped on and it's flooded. those
This
homes.
And it's
is
high
primarily for
tides.
nuisance flooding. which is-
nuisance flooding during
Right.
high tide period.
Yes.
Get rid of
But
it.
on 9th Street, at times, can get into garages and cause damage, so they do.
This
have-
may eliminate that
Yeah,
exposure.
yes. But we've been very clear that when the water comes up to a point, it's gonna be meaningless to have a pump. So they need to understand that doesn't save them of the big amounts.
Like during a hurricane,
It just makes life easier during normal recurrent storms.
Sure.
So the power source is not from a generator, it's from Duke Power,
And
right?
the power source, as planned, will come from the transformer that's outside this building.
Oh.
That's
So
good.
you have your own
So it's more
Okay.
sustainable than anything out here coming behind the houses.
Right, but we do not have a backup power source.
Yeah, yeah. Right, okay. All right. Good to know.
So again, that kind of brings us back around. If we're not certain about next Thursday, I can have Kathy start a poll tomorrow. I will also reach out to, or have Kathy reach out to Tim to weigh in if he wants to be a full member. And then we can get it to that meeting for the
Yeah.
council to make a decision. So we could possibly have him soon.
Yeah,
To the
good.
board. So yeah, that'll, right now, the effort's gonna be get the projections, get the depth summary, and then get the CapEx
Yeah,
rankings.
Exactly.
And then work through that to give to council and then let them go from there.
all right.
Do we have any other questions?
Nope, I didn't.
I just had, well, I saw the Marina Fund continues to be a nice money generator, but have we done a study on our storage fees or what we charge rent based on the per foot, the minimums?
We haven't since the last resolution go around, so that was a while. It could be done again.
There might be something for us to think about this next year.
Is that something that you think the committee could take on?
We should be able to look at that, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which storage fees are we talking about?
The Marina,
Oh,
I mean, it's $10 a foot.
Yeah.
$10 a foot for a member? or
It's up to,
residents?
for a resident, it's at
$15.
$10 a foot.
And $15 a foot for non-residents, so we can just call the marinas around and see if that's competitive, and
I think it's low. but-
that's my gut reaction.
And my rates are
If you're,
waiting.
sorry,
Yeah.
if you remember, Bill Lusk has always kind of helped provide information. I don't know if you'd like
Who?
to. Bill Lusk, he's one of the
Oh, yeah.
senators. He's has a lot of information just about the marinas in the whole county.
Okay,
It's a good
that's
resource.
good.
And then, I just wanted to, I don't know, it sounds like from some of Rob's comments, you know, a couple big things going around the state, right? So you got the Florida Doge,
Mhm.
everybody looking at it, and, you know, have any impact that you see at the Beller Beach level? I mean, we're so small.
Nothing immediate that I feel a threat. I know from just hearing from the county and other managers that the general gist is they're trying to look into every individual municipality, and what they're running as far as their utilities, and they're trying to, is it gonna make sense for the county to start taking over these utilities? And they've asked the county their opinion, through their, request for information, and the county's kind of told them, you know, a lot of these systems they're not ready for us to take control, because they're in horrible condition. I mean, Beller Beach was lucky to sell their system.
A long time ago. Yeah, Beller has struggled with their water for years.
Yeah.
Some of the smaller beaches south have really a lot of trouble with their stormwater and their sewer. So just in hearing some of the summaries of the discussions they had, they were trying to explain to the Doge analysts or whoever that it's not exactly a simple thing.
Right.
I don't know how they're going to end up or what the final report's going to all say to the state, but
Well, yeah,
we're going to find out.
that's a good question.
And then I guess the last thing is our newly appointed Florida CFO is talking about lowering property taxes 10 to 15%.
Okay.
And so I know that
I know there was the big push that they were trying to do for the.
DeSantis talked about it, but Mr. is it Ingoglia plays, the guy from Spring Hill that just got appointed as CFO. That's on his ballot of things to do. So it's just something for us to keep in mind. The state
Okay.
figures out a way to cut 10 to 15%. I think you've already sounds like you've already thought about, we've got all these reserves.
Is that for homestead only residents?
It's not defined. It's a
Okay.
campaign idea.
Yeah.
Right? So he'll be running for office next year. So it's a campaign topic, but it's just something that we probably need to keep in the back of our minds.
Yeah.
For
sure.
Well, I think some of it has to do like, and just to come out that, what is it, Broward County?
Broward and Gainesville
The,
are being audited.
the property taxes have gone up like 47% over the last couple of years. It's something that stands out. That's what's drawn all the attention.
Okay.
You know,
What
that's a
were
huge
they?
I don't know where that, I can't imagine that Broward County was low
No.
to begin with, but I think that's where a lot
Well,
of
they
it.
just, DeSantis yesterday initiated an audit of Broward
Yeah.
and Gainesville.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Broward County has,
Sounds like
has both levels of properties. They have the ultra expensive properties, and they have the worst of
Yeah.
the worst. So put those together, and
Yeah.
you don't know what you got.
All right, so we've had any more comments on the budget or discussion?
Nope.
We feel good to accept what's been presented with the changes that Kyle's mentioned. We're going to review the increased CapEx for buoy replacement and stormwater, as well as the other comments that we had
Yeah.
before. I need a motion.
What's the motion do?
We've reviewed the timeline. We talked about revenue changes. Recommend an executive summary highlighting changes in budget and highlight changes in categories. Like the increase in personnel services.
Right.
We made that
And
note.
the, where if millage was to roll back, how.
Yeah.
And then, I got reviewed council discussions to increase CapEx for buoy replacement and stormwater. Those are the comments that I put in here.
Okay.
That's, we need a motion?
I need a
Accept-
motion.
I move to accept the minutes as stated and written.
Second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
And I just need you to
Need a
attest,
signature?
if you could just attest, this was the approval of last minutes. And then for general business, I've got here for the future, we're gonna review projections, financial and capital expenditures, and then a future review of marina rates.
Okay. Is the marina back in good running condition now?
They have
Everything good there?
electricity and they're operating their slips.
Okay,
So yeah, it's operational.
it is, okay.
One thing, and when you compare marinas, there's a lot of different factors with just what is offered
Oh,
as part of that fee.
it's not like-
They're like, they're
There's
not
no
apples to
amenities.
apples
No,
at
no,
all.
it's bare
Yeah.
bones, I get
Yeah.
that. And I think someone told me that the city was gracious enough to not charge rent when there was no power. Over the
We were
last-
able to give back a month credit.
Okay.
And we did it across the board, we thought that was the fairest
And those-
way. There were actually some suppliers that gave it back.
That's nice, yeah. That's good faith on the part of the city.
Any other business? Any other folks? I need a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second?